Gates. So the conference, so you had the big three right there. And this is just before Windows 95 broke. So when the conference ended, Bill Gates huddled with his security, went out back. Steve Jobs, I don't know where Steve Jobs went. He just kind of like disappeared. Maybe he was vibrating with the universe, you know, and disappeared. I got a quirky sense of humor, guys. But Charles Wang jumped into the audience ahead of his security detail. Now this is a man at that time who was worth about $3 billion. Jumped to the details, one of the first people on, one of the first people on him. If you want to find out about wealth, you go to the source. So I wanted to be the first person on it. So as soon as he jumped out, I said, excuse me, Mr. Wang, I studied your company. I'm fascinated by your work. You've done a great job. He said, what did you say? And you had that look like, what did you say? And I said, oh boy, I've insulted a billionaire. Okay. So I said it again, excuse me, Mr. Wang, I studied it. He said, oh no, call me Charles. So a multi-billionaire says, call him by his first name, I'm not going to dare insult Clay and say, call me Mr. Cash. Okay? So that's just my thing, guys. I'm not saying, you know, formalities are, you know, are in order, but I appreciate it, Clay. So, now what was your question, Clay?
Is the comedy hour still in progress? Is going on?
Comedy hour is still in session.
So how do you create an artificial legal person?
Okay. Now again, there's two answers to that. It depends. If all you want to do is create a trust, a state, an LLC, or a corporation, Greenlight is not your company. But if you want to create one of those artificial people that's in the right structure, that's employing the right strategies, and executing the right tactics, then you come to your friends at Greenlight. Otherwise, you just go to LegalZoom and you'll have something that'll be in the wrong structure, it'll have the wrong tax treatment, it'll have the wrong capital structure, you won't have any strategy, so you say, what do I do with this damn thing? Terrence Gass said, this is the secret. Yeah, that's the perspective is the beginning of it. It's not, guys, it's not magic. You know, it's not like, okay, all I got to do is, you know, form one of these artificial people and then I got it. I got it. I paid $600,000. I got this special package for $1,000 and we're good. No, you have to be coached on how to use it. Matter of fact, what we do is, it's with some of our solution suites. We have dozens and dozens of different solutions and they are client specific. But probably our two most perennial, and we didn't get into this yet, Kooge, maybe during the second half. Our two most perennial favorites are the New Lifestyle Business Startup Solution, where we teach and mentor people how to run their life as a business, which includes paying the minimum legal tax. That's a construct we made, we created that. That doesn't exist anywhere but Greenlight. Another perennial favorite, and it includes a free incorporation. Why do you think it's free? Because some clients would argue about, well, you know, I can get that cheaper at LegalZoom, I can get that cheaper at the incorporation company. So can you get it cheaper than free? Because we take it off the table. The first year of Greenlight, we didn't do that. We say, okay, go to the incorporation company, go to LegalZoom, get it done, then come back and we'll do the coaching. And these misconstructs of corporate entities said, well, why are you an LLC? Well, they said over at the corporation company to just be an LLC. And I says, you in real estate? And they go, no. You have some funky corporate partnership structure where all the partners are actually artificial beings themselves. No, then you're probably not exploiting the best uses of an LLC. And did you know that the IRS doesn't formally recognize LLCs? Not a bad thing, guys. You just got to know what it is. Okay? An LLC is a hybrid. It was created 35 years ago, and it combines some of the advantages of a corporation with some of the advantages of a partnership. So that's its legal structure. Has nothing to do with how it's treated tax-wise, which is called its tax treatment. So the IRS doesn't legally recognize it because it says, okay, Mr. LLC, how should I tax treat you? Should I treat you as a corporation? No, you're not a corporation. Should I tax treat you as a partnership? No, you're not a partnership. So what the IRS actually does, they give you three choices. but 99.9% of the LLC members, the owners of the LLC, are called members, guys. Don't know that. Matter of fact, you don't have to show me your hands. Those of you who have LLC, I'd say 80%, maybe 90% of you are in your default tax treatment. If you're a single member LLC, you're the only owner, you're a disregarded entity, meaning you're being tax treated as a sole proprietorship. Okay? Maximum legal tax. So you paid all this money for the LLC legal structure, and on the tax treatment side, you could have just registered for $45 at the county clerk and be done with it, right? And if you're a multi-member, you are being tax treated as a partnership, which is like two sole proprietorships, married, filing, joint. Okay? Not good. Okay? So, again, guys, simple things. So, Clay, answer your question. If you just want to create an LLC or a corp or a state or a trust, you go to LegalZoom, you go to those guys, and then, you got to figure out what, was it Amanda? Allison? Nanette. Oh, I was close, right? I brag about a photographic memory, I don't know. But, so you can do that and figure it out yourself over the next 400 years. I mean, you look like a young guy. You're healthy, right? You can make it. Clay, you can make it. You can make it, Clay. I believe in you. Or you come to a coach, you come to a company like Greenlight. You come to Greenlight, Clay. Come talk to me, brother. Come talk to me.
Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. That's the close of part one. We're going to take a 10-15 minute break. I need to introduce you to one person who should be the most popular person in this room. This is Catherine.
The vice president.
She's from Greenlight. She controls his schedule. He does not control his schedule.
Okay.
Fortunately, Terrence is going to be with us for a week. We're going to play some golf, and he's also going to, we've given some office hours. Some of you that are serious and ready for some coaching, if you wanted to get started fast, talk to her. But we'll have some other meetings where you can come together and you can bring somebody else back to check out that this is not true. This is too good to be true, and I want you to check this guy. We'll have an opportunity. In fact, we have Wednesday. Terrence has written a book. Somebody asked about knowledge and wisdom, and he's going to read some excerpts from that book. Okay, he's going to read. He's going to give you a little teaser now, and then we'll take our break.
Thank you so much, Kooge.
No, that's right. Yeah.
So, hang on a second, guys.
What is the name of your book?
Okay, the book is called No Personal Gain. The subtitle is basically the subtitle we had for the invite. No one ever said the road to wealth would be simple, pregnant pause, until now. So that's the book. Now, let me just tell you about the construction of the book while I'm pulling it up. Basically, I wanted to make a book that was different in the self-help, personal finance area. I didn't want the same old thing. So the construction of the book is that every chapter begins with an anecdote section before I get into the principles and the lessons and the don't do this, the don't do that. So I modeled it basically after the Bible, right? So I'm a Christian. So how did Christ do it? So what he did was basically, he didn't just say don't do this, don't do that, right? Everybody would have tuned out. He said, let me tell you a story, right? Isn't that what he said? He said, let me tell you a story. He told you a story, and there was an abject lesson in the story, and from the abject lesson, you were like, aha. And then he said, okay, don't do this, don't do that. So, this is the anecdote section of the introduction, called a second opinion. Now, think about that. With the normal use of that phrase is usually what in the medical situation. Usually, unfortunately, you probably heard some bad news, right? Hopefully that's nobody in this room. And then when you go for second opinion, you're always going what? For some better news, right? More optimistic news. So keep that in mind. I took 2 weeks just to come up with the names of the chapters, which I'll share with you a little later as well. So this is the anecdote section from the introduction called a second opinion. Don't get old, y'all. I got bifocal contacts on the next too. Okay, here we go. I had been living and working in the Suffolk County border town of West Sayville since one day in September 1981. It was a sputtering, subdued section of strip mall retail shops and tree-lined homes, mostly popularized by its elegant and stately public golf course, nestled on the coast of Long Island South Shore, just 1 block away. It was here in 1994, before the defense industry bubble burst and an illegal eviction, oh yeah guys, I got illegally evicted, would rearrange my fortunes and destiny to Westchester County. That I considered carefully a New York Times classified ad for something that was, up until that point in time, ridiculous altogether. A full-time day job with the competition. The night before, I had tried unsuccessfully to convince my then best friend, Gerald Nolan, that my sudden, urgent request for employment was merely a matter of changing strategies. And why, in order for my dreams to be realized, I was going to need regular bi-weekly paychecks. I'm not quitting and giving up my dreams after striving so hard for 4 years. It's not in my DNA, I told her. More by way of admission than bragging, then explained that I was completely out of money, with bills and arrears, and how poverty acquires romance only when escaped. The response of my childhood friend was as humorous as it was unforgiving. You are ruined, my friend, and your return to wage slavery is a cruel and twisted joke that will never work for you. On the other hand, perhaps you should just run back to the cover of anonymity, stagnant wages, and periodic layoffs before you realize that the only way most likely to produce financial freedom is having your own business. Whoops, too late. But when I sat with him 2 years later in a small silver and gray booth at the White Plains Coach Diner, and as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, I couldn't even